Once was a land of woe and strife, where the people were bereft of hope. They prayed to their gods of might and light to deliver the heroes of old. Instead they got heroes. Did you hear the quotes in my voice of moral ambiguity? They may help or may not help you at all. Depends on what's in it for them. They kick and they punch and they maul and they smash. They lie and they scheme and they burn and they slash. Succeed or fail, it adds to the tale. Dungeons and Debacle starts now. Hello and welcome to this episode of Dungeons and Debacles podcast. I am your host and dungeon master, Kevin. Going around the table, Blake.
Hi, my name's Blake, and I'll be playing Juliet, the Eldritch Knight.
And Caleb.
Hi, I'm Caleb. I'm playing Gwynny, the human druid.
And John.
What up? Playing Alunodas, Elven monk.
And Oliver.
I will be playing Edel Belmont,
The Paladin.
And Shane.
That's my name. Playing Alexander the Bard.
Alright, so on the last episode, you guys were in the mayor's house interrogating him. He gave you some information on where to find a book that gave clues to where the other artifacts are of the saviors. You also found out that Juliet is carrying a halberd that belonged to his great uncle who went on a quest to find Ruin's egg. You also know that in your possession you have one of the map pieces.
And he told us about the Shrine of the Raven Queen having
we kind
one of the artifacts, and two of our characters remembered seeing something.
Yeah, and Shane did a wisdom check and figured out that he had one of those pieces.
Didn't I crit on the wisdom check?
Yep.
Yeah.
That was one of the old jewelry pieces, was it? That we found in the zombie lair?
It was.
I just listened to that episode.
It helps to listen. So, you were in the house, and I believe what happened was someone stuck a hot poker on the mirror, and he screamed out, and then a few minutes later, the guard started knocking on the door.
why'd you do that, Shane?
So you guys escaped through the windows. You got into a fight outside in the back before you were able to jump down into the sewer grate. Alright, so you guys are down in the sewers, and you hear a plop behind you and some footsteps, and you're pretty sure it's the guards jumping down in the sewers to come after you.
Quick, Winnie, blow your wind.
Blow my wind?
Blow your wind, baby.
I do that massive fart when you do as a druid.
I think we're just gonna keep
Eldritch
on.
fart.
I think we're just gonna keep on going.
Well, there's already bad smells here in the sewers. I don't think passing gas is going to help.
It'll make it a little more sour. Yeah, let's, okay, so, we're running through the sewers, blase.
If Juliet can catch up to anyone, she's gonna say, "Stop talking and run, you fools, run! They're right behind us."
Well, we didn't start the fire, except me.
We're just... Okay.
Actually, Juliet started the fire.
Whoops.
No, I think it was intentional.
Yes. Okay. Yeah, let's just, let's floor it, fellas.
Alright, so here's what's going to happen is we are going to do a skill challenge to see if you can make it back to the safe house without them following too closely to figure out where you're going.
Okay.
So what I'm going to need is we're going to do 4 successes before you get 3 fails.
Sure. That's reasonable.
So everybody drop yourself into the initiative tracker. Let me bring it up.
Are they in view right now?
No, it's dark and they're about 60 feet behind you.
I am going to...
Roll initiative first.
Yeah.
What do we need to roll for the skill check?
Because, so, my thought process
Initiative.
is that,
Oh, wow. I got a natural 20, but I have a -1, so I got a 19.
What a hero.
Hell yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So here's what's going to happen with the skill challenge: is you can pick any skill that you think is applicable. I would suggest something that you have bonuses in, and explain to me how you're using the skill. And I have a DC in mind, and you just have to beat that DC. And I'm also going to give you make that DC a little bit lower, just for the fact that it's dark down in the sewer, and I'm assuming that Gwenny has still got up Passed Without Trace, right?
Yes, that should last for another...
Yeah, last
I
couple hours.
estimate another 45 minutes, half an hour.
Oh, yeah.
Should be
All right.
time.
So
who wants to go first?
you're going first, Edel.
Oh, cool. I'm gonna do athletics because I'm trying to run as fast as I can. Is that
Reasonable.
reasonable?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. 22.
Nice. That is a pass. So
Yeah,
you
boy.
now have one pass and 0 fails.
Nice.
I hate
Alexander.
the sewer. Ew.
Alejandro.
What skill do I want to do? I think I want to attempt to use intimidation while screaming back at them. Stop following us, or else you want to keep your lives.
We have Pass Without a Trace, you idiot.
So what? Terrible listening.
All right, use it.
What? Oh yeah, I should probably roll, huh?
Yeah.
A whole 9.
You're good at things, Shane.
With the +7 modifier, I rolled a 9.
Okay.
Wow.
So, as you say, turn back now unless you want to lose your lives. You hear a group of probably 3 or 4 guards. A couple of seconds later, start this belly laugh.
Maybe that'll slow them down.
I think they breathe too deep and they can't.
Yeah, exactly. They get out of breath.
So that's 1 pass and 1 fail. Juliet, you're up.
Juliet is going to rely on her knowledge of the city and how the sewers were laid out and do a history check. Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Kevin?
Like how you sound surprised.
A 19.
That is a pass. So Juliet is able to use her history to remember what passages to take and possibly maybe even shortcuts or some way to lead them the wrong way before doubling back. So that is 2 successes and 1 fail. Alunodas, you're up.
All right. Like a ninja, Alunodas is going to lift himself up out of the muck and try to, jump from along the walls, side to side. Ninja. Shinobi. Acrobatics.
Just Mario in around.
14, that is a success.
Hooah! Ninja.
So next up is Gwenny.
All right, Gwendolyn is going to cast Gust of Wind, which John so eloquently said was a druid fart, to blast down the tunnel to push our pursuers back.
Now let's see, what applicable skill would go with that?
Well,
Arcana?
that'd be a wisdom check or
Or nature, maybe?
Insight?
Are you casting a spell?
I assumed that it would be the proficiency.
Yeah, let's do a wisdom check on that then.
Wisdom check of 14.
That is a success as well. So that is 3 successes and 1 fail. And back around to the top of the order.
That's
Edel.
You gotta make the touchdowns or whatever. 25!
Nice.
Crit.
Awesome.
So that is going to be your last success. You are able to lose your pursuers in the tunnels and make it back to the Greasy Palm.
Nice. We're 1 in 3 for all these skill challenges. We're getting there.
Fail.
Wonder who got that 1 failure. Trash player.
Almost, but not quite got a crit.
It feels so bad whenever I do the rolls that I have +7 on, and then it just just fails miserably. I'm like, come on.
Does it just hurt your inside shade?
Like, yeah, like +7. Like, I can't roll lower than 7.
You're like, let me have this.
All right,
so we're at the Greasy Palm.
So you guys pop out of a sewer grate in a back alley, and you walk into the back of the Greasy Palm. You're moving around upstairs in the front floor or the top floor. Davick comes, hears you, and walks back into the back and says, "Welcome, my companions. Bravo! The city's soiling themselves over the Red Talons assassinating the mayor. This could not have gone better. I even baked some cookies for you shaped like dragons. I even got some pig's blood to color in the dragon fire. What do you think?"
Gwendolyn eats a cookie.
Alunodas grabs a handful.
I grab 2 handfuls.
Eat up, enjoy. You've earned it.
Thanks, boss man.
So, what have you learned?
We have a second artifact of the Founders. Or, actually, no, did Shane and Juliet tell us about that? I don't think they did.
I don't think.
Actually, you don't have an artifact. You have a book that may have clues.
Yeah.
But what about the old jewelry they found?
That's not an artifact. That is a map piece to find Ruin's Egg.
Okay.
I think we should keep that to ourselves. I don't think he needs to know about Ruin's Egg.
Juliet is going to disagree and spill the beans.
Spill the beans? Okay.
You know, our mission didn't go quite the way we wanted to. Obviously, Nifron was an exceptional helper, stealthy and violent, as you said he was.
And he's in the back, and you see him nodding.
We managed to find, in addition to a bunch of loot, if you will, we discovered that in our previous encounter at the Raven Queen's temple, there was a gentleman who had passed away. It turns out it was a relative, or I guess past relative, of the mayor. The halberd I hold now was his original halberd, and we managed to find out that he was searching for the artifacts as well, which means we're not the only ones who know that these artifacts are being collected. So we have part of the location of a second artifact, Ruin's Egg, obviously.
As soon as you say Ruin's Egg, his eyes just go wide. What? Ruin's Egg? You have clues to where it may be?
I believe so. We have a portion of a map.
Let me see it.
Who has it? Where is it?
I think. Do I have it? I guess I have it. I'll pass it off.
Okay.
I assume that I just carry
Dig
most of
through
the
your
things I
totally
find.
ordinary bag.
In between episodes, Gwendolyn had it tattooed on her back.
It's a square.
It's a crescent floating around the screen.
It's a used car salesman.
So, let's say Shane rummages around into his totally not magical bag, and he pulls out this what appears to be like a quarter of a circle that is on the lower part there, where you see there's like a circle. There's a chain that runs through that. Appears to be made out of bronze, and it's probably about a 1/4 inch thick. It's really heavy. In the center of this is a triangle.
It must be made out of unobtainium.
Exactly. So you're going to hand this to him?
Yes, after making a mental note.
Davick is going to take this map piece, and he's going to run it over in his hands, and he was like, I don't understand how this is going to find Ruin's Egg.
If we get the other however many pieces.
He says, well, how are you going to find the other pieces?
We have a book, don't we? Book.
Yeah, it gives like hints onto the next part of Ruin's Egg. Well, the map.
So he says, you have a book, let's see it.
I take it out of my regular bag. And then start flipping through the pages to where it mentions where Ruin's Egg.
Okay,
Maybe.
give me a investigation check.
I'm investigating this book. Investigation 21.
21. So that's a pretty good check. So you are you're leafing through this book, and it's not a long book. It's probably only maybe in half of an inch, and for them saying that this book's ancient, it looks as good as the day it was probably written. You think there may be some sort of magic on this to preserve it. But as you're looking through the book, most of what you see appears to be talking about the saviors themselves, and you don't see anything in the book about the egg.
This book's broken.
Well, maybe if we hunt down the saviors in their favorite, diners and so on.
Can I attempt to do an Arcana check?
Yes. What are you doing the Arcana check on?
To check to see if there's any sort of illusion magic on the book.
Yes.
7.
You can tell that this book's probably magical, but if you had to guess, you would think there was probably either some abjuration or transmutation magic.
Give me that book. Let me see what it's got.
But you're not for sure.
Okay.
I'm gonna find out what's wrong with this book. You don't know what you're talking about. Get out of here. 13.
Yeah, I mean, you're pretty much of the same thinking.
Perhaps our Eldritch Knight has some insight.
I thought you'd never ask. Let me take a look at that book. Juliet's gonna flip through some pages and roll a natural critical. Okay.
Wow. So,
Wow.
You can tell that the book's definitely magical. You can tell that there was some abjuration magic placed on this to help preserve it. And basically what you're seeing in the book is just more information about the saviors and the history of the artifacts, but you're not seeing anything in the book about the egg.
Weird. Okay. What does it say about the artifacts?
Which one do you want to know about?
Any that are listed inside of the book. Does it list all the artifacts?
It does.
And it lists all of the saviors.
Okay. I would like to notate all of the artifact names.
Okay.
And any hints that pertain to each artifact. Would that still roll off of my 21 investigation or no?
Yeah, I mean, because that's what you were looking at earlier.
Okay.
So
Let me get up my notes.
Were any of the saviors especially connected with that Shrine of the Raven Queen? Why was there a piece of the map there? Or were they connected with the mayor's family in any way? Why did he, or at least his city, have possession of the Flame of the Rings?
Well, from what you understand from the mayor when you were having that discussion, that it appears that the map piece and his uncle had nothing to do with this book. That he wasn't even looking for any of the artifacts of the saviors. He was actually out looking for Ruin's egg. Which would explain why you didn't see anything in that book, or this book, about it.
Okay. How many artifacts are there in total?
12.
12? That's a whole lot of artifacts.
Yeah, and you've already found one.
Yeah,
almost like a campaign of them.
So, yeah. So, just as, our cursory, going through this book, there's the Ring of the Plains that you've already found.
Yep.
There's the Amulet of Dominion.
Amulet of Dominion. Got it.
The Girdle of Heroes.
Girdle of Heroes.
Mm-hmm.
Got it.
The Blade of Reproach.
God damn it.
The Gullet of Eating.
I can put all these up on the website, so you don't have to type them all in.
Okay.
Blade of Reproach, would that be something like a halberd with bane magic?
Do you want to read more about it?
You probably could.
Read all about it. Extra.
So
this whole episode's going to be reading Rainbow.
So, you're skimming. If you're looking for specific information on what kind of blade this was, you are going to be skim through it, and from what you can tell, it was a great sword.
So not the help. That would have been a little bit too much to ask, I guess.
Yes.
Too much. Would be too much to ask.
Now, how did the Ring of the Plains end up in the city's possession, or the mayor's possession?
From
See
what...
that in the book?
Yeah, actually you do. And you also know a little bit about it from lore in the city. I think Captain Treyas had told you about it. And give me a second here, and I'm going to pull the lore up for it, because the lore for this artifact is actually on the website. For all the listeners out there that want to read it. So, the Ring of the Plains was also known as the Ring of Taluvel Sylvina. It's an artifact used in conjunction with 11 of the other powerful artifacts used by the Saviors to banish Rune Axis. It's said that Taluvel was one of the Saviors' forges for Ring of the Days before the battle with the ancient dragon. Arcane historians and the apprentices of Sylvina have said the ring's major function was to cast a powerful version of the banishment spell in conjunction with 11 other artifacts of the Saviors. However, it's also able to plane shift the user up to 10 others willing creatures to the abyssal plane. The ring was most recently stolen from the Mayor of Kala, Tobin Reese, which was passed down from generations in his family. So Tobin Reese is actually related to one of the Saviors. And great grandfather.
So it sounds like hunting down the descendants of the other Saviors and the Saviors' special layers or whatever would probably be a good place to try and find these artifacts.
Kevin?
Yes.
I'm really hoping that you just have all those all those greats before their grandfather written down.
We can do that. I've actually got the names of all the descendants too.
Hell yeah, my man.
Timmy, Tommy, Smitty, Smith.
I feel like it'd be really hilarious if you're just looking at your paper trying to make sure you're saying the greats in the right amount. Yeah, so are there any artifacts that can locate the others, or are we just on our own?
You're basically on your own trying to
Easy enough.
to try to chase these down.
We'll just a bunch of people. We'll be alright.
I would like to do a
torture check.
History. What would I use if I'm trying to figure out what I know of the abyssal plane?
That would probably either be history or religion.
Same for both. I got a critical fail. I don't know shit. Okay.
Sounds about right.
Sounds about my real life.
He's going to ask you. He said, "Well, what's in the book? What do you see about Ruin's egg? This is amazing. If we can find her egg, can you imagine the favor that Ruin Axis would give us?"
No.
I'll look at him for a second, and I'll look at my companions.
We also found some documents in the mayor's library related to his great uncle's quest. Yes.
I found a lot of dead bodies.
No, you didn't see any documents related to his quest. The only thing that you know about that was he told you that when he was a very young boy, his great uncle went out on the quest to find this egg, and he had heard, I think it was a couple years earlier, they had gotten some correspondence from him saying that he thought that he'd tracked down a clue to the location of one of these map pieces in the Witching Wood.
Witching Wood.
Which is where you found that map piece.
Okay.
Wood of Witching? Wait a minute.
Okay, so, cool. Yeah, so we found it has a bunch of information about the artifacts and stuff, and its purposes being that, you can, trap something down, or you can, transport you and 10 other people if they're willing to the abyssal plane. That's about all I read on it.
Alright.
Read on what? The map piece?
The book.
Oh, it's in this book.
Oh, well...
Yeah, he was asking about the book.
The one that we just read, right in front of
Right, but that was just for the Ring of Plains.
What
Right.
do you mean?
Two quests.
You just read him the description of the Ring of Plains.
The Ring of Plains, that's its purpose? Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was like the overall purpose of all the artifacts. Okay.
Well,
Got it.
you know the overall purpose of all the artifacts was, to banish ruin access to the Abyssal Plane. But everybody knows that's like common knowledge.
Okay. Makes sense.
What's common knowledge?
Yeah, so, it doesn't have anything about the Ruins Egg in the book.
Okay. Do you, yeah. He was like, well, that's a shame. Why don't you let me keep that map piece and maybe I can pass it along to, some of my higher ups.
I asked for the input of, the other people in the group. Like, should we hand this over to them?
What are they, evil? It'll be alright.
That's about right.
I think that Alunodas and Edel would agree, because we're in the cult.
Oh yeah, you guys are red talons.
But we're also strongly tempted to go on the quest to find the other 11 artifacts and the 3 map pieces, I would think.
So
Tearing all those pages.
So is this just a little question? So are you actually asking us, or is that you just being polite?
Well, right now, I mean, you found it. I'm not going to take it away from you, but it's a possibility that there's someone else in our organization who may know more about this. Unless you're going to go on the quest for this yourself.
That's what I'm thinking.
You want to do it?
Very much.
Seems like a lot of profit margins for this quest right now. I'm game. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so you add this quest to your journal.
And if you could pass the word up to the superiors, asking if they have any information that you could then pass along to us as we continue our search for these artifacts. That would be wonderful.
Yeah, we could try to do that. I'll put out the words to some of the other cells and see what they may know. But this is kind of above my pay grade. I don't know what to do with this.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Are you so sure? I have a feeling that we may find use of it if we are to stumble upon any other map pieces. We wouldn't have anything to compare them to without the original one we found.
Yeah, and I doubt that they're any use without the others.
And since we found the one while we were looking for the one map piece while we were looking for an artifact, we should probably hold on to it while we look for the others.
It's our property.
Not really, actually.
Damn dirty government.
Finders
Get away
keepers.
from me.
Finders, keepers, lizards, weepers.
Property is theft, so theft is property. Quid pro quo.
Theft is methody.
Yeah, kind of like a Team Rocket.
Are they blasting off again?
All right,
Yeah.
so Davick's going to say, well, things are hot right now. You could probably stay here and rest for a couple hours, but the guard's going door to door and trying to root us out, and I'm not really worried because I'm a legitimate businessman. You, on the other hand, would be difficult to explain after a thorough inspection. So,
Got it. Yeah, we'll make our way out of here in a little while.
We rest for a brief period and then leave the city, I think.
So is that considered a short rest?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's everyone's HP looking like right now?
Mine is currently not showing up.
I'm pretty sure Alunodas is still full.
I'm just gonna put full HP.
As I remember Juliet and Oliver being...
Juliet got smacked pretty hard.
I have a couple of oozing wounds. Maybe I can use
I
some
was
help
alright.
here.
Yeah, because I
Alunodas
can...
can patch you up a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can use one of my inspiration die to heal you in addition to your die or whatever it is.
You've also got 2 healers in the party.
That's true.
Liar.
But I don't want them to expend magic, like their magic points, whenever I can just use one of my bardic inspirations. So let them use a hit die.
Alright, thanks for nothing.
What do you mean?
Alunodas did a medicine check. I'm not sure what that would...
Yeah, I'll expend one of my
No,
Bardic
don't bother.
inspirations.
Don't even bother.
All right, so as you got your downtime, spin your hit die, get back whatever spell slots you get after a short rest. So, do you want to do a check on? You haven't had much time, but do you want to do a check to see what these magical items do?
Yeah, we got a whole bunch. Remember?
Yeah. Let's do it.
So, does anyone have the identify spell?
I do have the identify spell.
Best spell in the game.
Do you have a pearl? Worth at least 1,000 or 100 gold?
I don't. Yeah, it takes material to do the identify spell. I don't believe we have a pearl on hand. So, is there...
Same.
What do you mean? Like, we actually have to get the components. Like, can't just cast this when we literally don't have it. And there's, like, other red talons in the place, right?
Yeah. I mean,
Okay.
Davick for one.
I asked around to see if there's anybody that might have a pearl on hand that they would be willing to sell.
So Davick says, I don't personally wear pearls, but you may be able to talk to one of our attendants,
You do now. Put
Our-
on these pearls.
our massage therapists.
I asked around. Would you like me to roll an investigation check?
Not an investigation, but a persuasion.
Persuasion?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's perception. Persuasion. 23.
All right. So after a while, you're talking around, and you talk to one of the women who works here, and she's wearing a strand of pearls. So what are you going to say to her to try to get the pearl away from her? This massage therapist with the pearl necklace.
Hey, how much for that necklace you're wearing?
This necklace? This has a lot of sentimental value to me. It was given to me by
Damn it,
one of my
I knew
first
it.
clients.
I knew it.
So how much is that sentimentality worth for you?
Oh, I don't know.
We will.
150 gold?
Damn!
Can we knock it down to 140? Shall I roll persuasion?
Yeah. Roll me another one.
No. Persuasion. 21.
Well, I guess I can let go of it for that.
You got it.
That you
A hell of
put
a
it on
massage.
lower, Shane.
Probably, but
I'm gonna
not
try
sure.
and get it lower.
No.
So
Yes, you're not even there.
Well, yeah, I'm
you're not even in the room, dude.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, it's literally me going around trying to find a pearl. Like,
Cut to a shot of me taking a shit in a latrine.
I will subtract 140 gold from my thing. So I now have 917.
Now let's rob her.
It's not Grand Theft Auto.
I never played that game.
All right. So are you casting Identify?
Yes, I would like to cast Identify on 3 of these items, as I only have 3 spell slots at the moment. I believe I
So you've got there's
I have the list
sword,
of everyone.
There's a
let me
sword.
just-
robes, a cloak, a brooch, a necklace, a ring.
Yeah, I'll Oh yeah, there was a longsword, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yeah, you're a longsword.
Yeah, I'd like to identify the longsword, the gold ring, and the gray cloak.
Okay. Longsword. It's silver with silver gilt on a black leather handle. It is a +1 to attack and damage, and does 1d4 radiant damage versus undead and lycanthropes. And give me a history check.
What did I get?
And
I got
those-
14.
So what you know about this is you think this sword's name is Dawn Singer. You think it is a weapon that was handed down through Maritobin Reese's family.
Got it. Cloak next.
The cloak. The cloak is a gray linen cloak with gold gilding near the clasp at the neck. It is a cloak of protection that gives you +1 to all saves.
Whoa, I want it.
all saves, and then the ring.
The ring is a gold ring with a large ruby, and it is a ring of water breathing.
Okay. I go and express this to everybody. Whenever I finish talking about the longsword, I call dibs.
Yeah, really, because if anybody needs it, it's you, so you can at least do one damage.
Damn!
I'm not the damaging sort. Water breathing.
I am.
And then, I'm just copying and pasting real quick. Cool, so we have 4 items that are not identified yet.
Yeah,
Cool.
That's the robes, the brooch, the figurine, and the necklace.
That's pretty
Okay.
neat.
So I will keep the longsword. I'll just keep the ring on hand, in case anybody needs it.
I'll just hold on to this.
It's not
Who's
as urgent as
the rogue? Who's the rogue? Well, the more sneaky character besides me.
Me.
No, you're heavily armored.
Barely.
I call shenanigans. Okay. So, who besides Oliver and Juliet are sneaky? Like,
I'm thinking that would be either Alunodas or Gwendolyn.
Gwendolyn? What are your classes again?
Monk and druid, but she's the one with the spell.
Okay, what's your sneak stat?
Stealth +3.
+2.
You guys are liars. I know it.
Okay, I'll give the ring of breathing to Alunodas.
It's a shame. You know,
Can
red
we
is
take a
my
long
power
rest so we
color.
can find out what the rest of these are, or go
Yeah, because
identify them.
Yeah, let's.
I don't want to pay somebody to do it.
Well, let's go take a long rest then.
I mean, we can.
Well, we'd have to sneak out of the city for that. Let's just see. I think our meat shields might need the saving throws.
Yeah,
more for the moment.
Well, who already has, like, magical items? Because right now I know Shane and Juliet both have magical items, and I think one of you has a necklace that gives you advantage on a saving throw once a day, right?
No,
Yes,
I don't have
you got that
anything.
from Tibbet's body.
Damn.
Oh yeah, that's right. I do. I have that, don't I? I just have it
I
on
don't
hand.
have
I just
a
have it stuffed in
single-
my bag. Yeah, I'll give Oliver the cloak.
Yeah, what does it do?
+1 to all saves.
That's pretty dope.
It's pretty good. It's a pretty good spell.
Spell book.
Magic dagger. And what was the ring that I got from Tibbet's body?
That was the
Oh, yeah,
necklace
advantage.
you just. Yeah, advantage once per day.
Advantage once
So once
per day. For 1 saving throw.
Man.
And then who doesn't have a magic item right now?
Me.
I gave you the cloak,
Gwendolyn.
Dumbo.
That's gone. I don't know where it went. I lost it.
Lost the
Gwendolyn.
cloak already.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn doesn't have one.
I'm wearing it.
Gwendolyn doesn't. I toss her the ring. That gives advantage to a saving throw per day. And we have 4 items currently that are 5 items that are not identified yet. Cool.
Which,
so
which items aren't identified yet? The robes? brooch?
the expensive
Robes and
looking
brooch.
robe, the 2 brooches, the necklace, and the figurine.
What do you mean the 2 brooches?
Yeah, there's only one brooch as far as I know.
I remember saying 2. I wrote it down twice.
It's an oval brooch with an anchor symbol somewhere on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. So 4 things. The expensive looking robes, the brooch, the necklace, and the figurine of the Elven lady in silver. That is about 8 inches tall.
Also, during this short rest, perhaps we should look into the book and find out where we should go.
I lick my finger and stick it in the air. All right, we go this way.
So,
Stick your finger inside a brothel.
Yeah.
ugh.
I didn't know we were in a brothel. Not gonna lie.
So, towards the end of your long rest, Davick comes down the stairs and says, I think I've got some good news to get you guys out of town. You're going to need to go to Carnlee and await further instructions. I can't tell you who to contact there, but they'll contact you. I'll send word to my contact, and they will put you in touch with someone who has more experience with these magical artifacts. So here's what you're going to need to do. We've acquired a new ship, the Sea Witch, Go there and talk to the captain, Gervis Stormbringer. He's an old friend, and he's a lot rough around the edges, but he can be trusted. Tell him I sent you, and you need to sell to Carnlee immediately. The docks are probably locked down right now, but Gervis is an old smuggler and knows what he's about, and he'll get you out. I've also given you some papers that show you work on the boat, so if you're approached by any guards, you can show them that and get through. When you get to Carnlee, you'll go to the Rusty Anchor and take a room and wait there. Try not to draw too much attention to yourselves, and here's some gold for your expenses. Mayhap we'll meet again on the glorious day of Ruin Axis' return. And he hands you a sack and that has 100 gold in it.
I nod and start walking away.
I will take the gold that you obviously did not want.
Shenanigans.
Alunodas bows.
Oh, I want the money.
Alright, so you guys you're going to leave there and head toward the docks?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So the docks aren't too far away. And at this point, it's almost early morning. There are a few people out on the streets, but you notice that there's some guard presence. So everybody give me a stealth check.
You got it.
Great, I'm wonderful at this.
5.
Damn, Shane!
We're not very stealthy.
Shane's like,
Alunodas also got a 5.
I got a 12, hell yeah. We're good at games.
The 2 people with -1 stealth stats rolled higher than the 2 people with 3 stealth stats.
I even had disadvantage. I don't know what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
And Gwynny critted it.
Nice.
Hell yeah.
So you're going to get about halfway to the docks, and you're going to hear, "Hey, you there! Stop!"
I'm gonna turn around and go, yes.
So a guard's going to approach you.
Sir.
The guard's going to approach you and say, "What are you doing out on the streets? Haven't you heard what's been going on in town? It's not safe to be out here."
What happened?
I assure you, sir, we are very well equipped. Now please be on your way. I'm gonna roll a persuasion check now. 16.
He says, "Yeah, it looks like you can handle yourselves, but you still shouldn't be out on the streets. Right now there's a curfew in effect. Where are you headed?"
We're leaving town. It's too dangerous for us here.
Nobody can
Damn
leave
it,
town
James.
right now.
All this news around.
No one can leave town right now. We're on lockdown until we root out these red talons.
You just had to, didn't you, Shane? I had it, and you were sticking your dick in the coffee again.
Alright, let's stop talking about what we're going to do and do something.
Yeah.
Our
Sorry,
apologies, sir.
we didn't hear
We'll
about the
return
curfew.
to our dwelling immediately.
Good. Get off the streets.
You got it, sir.
You, Shane.
Here, chill the fuck out, Oliver.
Head into an
every time
alley.
they ruin everything. It's great.
What you talking about?
We turn back the way we came, turn into an alley, and keep on going toward the docks.
Yep.
Stealth checks again.
You're probably about a quarter way there, but you've got to cross a couple streets, so do give me one more stealth check.
I got a 16.
19.
Go for Alunodas.
Thanks a bunch, guys.
What you mean?
Is that an 8?
That is an 8.
All right.
Wow.
Hey,
So,
17.
give me a perception check.
Son of a bitch.
All of us?
Yeah, all of you or anyone.
14.
Perception.
All right, so Gwenny, you are going to spot the Sea Witch, but you also see 2 guards on the dock that are probably about 30 yards away from it that see you.
Are they in plate armor?
Appears to be in chainmail.
Wonder if that's heavy enough to make them sink to the bottom.
Yes.
So Gwenny, you are going to see one of the guards point toward you.
Are we gonna have to fight our way out of here?
Gwynny, put on your stealthy spell so that we
I can use charm
so that we
person.
don't draw attention if we lose the fight.
I have a feeling they've already spotted us, guys.
No, I'm saying
I have a
if,
single
so if
spell
we need to
slot.
fight them, we don't draw attention from others.
Why do we need to fight them?
We've been spotted.
I can use charm person. We'll be all right.
There's 2 guards.
Yeah, but like if I do
only
a
works
Jedi mind trick on one of them, they'll be like, "What are you doing, Bob?" And they'll be distracted by that.
Well, if you guys had been listening, you also know that Davick gave you some letters saying that you work on that boat to get through.
Yep.
Yes.
Like it's not that hard. So they're approaching us.
Right now they're just pointing at you.
I'll point back.
Do you want
Keep on.
to try to run or stealth or just walk in like you own the place?
Just walk over to the
Just
boat.
keep on walking.
Do we roll intimidation checks to do that to make, or
Just walk.
Yeah, we're just walking. Like, what are you talking?
what's wrong with you, good sir?
Just act
Walk.
natural. Don't
Yeah,
act
we're
like,
just going to continue walking.
All right,
Yeah.
so you're walking towards the boat.
yes.
Yep. Keep on walking. We haven't done anything wrong.
So one of those guards is, as you're walking towards the boat, walks in front of your path and holds up his hand and says, "What are you lot out here doing?
Going to work, sir.
Going to work? Where do you work?
Work on the ship
under
over
boat.
there, sir.
Do you have any sort of identification or work permit to show that you should be on the docks? We're in lockdown
We
and
do on the
curfew
boat.
right now."
Yes, sir. I hand over the paperwork.
All right, so he looks at the paperwork and looks you guys up and down and says, "You appear to be a little heavily armed for a bunch of dock hands."
Well,
Hopefully
we're
the
helping
ship
protect
stops in
against
dangerous
pirates,
ports.
so
The curfew's gotten everyone scared, sir. Gotta make sure we're safe.
All right, well, go about your business.
it's nice.
He's doing his job like he's supposed to.
Why didn't we do that before?
Keep on walking.
All right, let's head on to the boat.
All right, so
On the boat we go.
as you're walking up to the ramp of the boat, you see this squat dwarf ordering around people on the deck. He has some gray in his beard. You figure he's probably in his early hundreds.
I whistle to him.
Early hundreds.
So you whistle, and he turns around and sees you and says, "Whoa, what do you assholes want, storming up on my ship like you own the bloody boat?"
Oh, we should have asked for permission.
Aren't we supposed to be on the boat?
Yeah, tell him
Yeah.
about it. Everyone, y'all talk it out. Y'all don't like it when I talk for some reason. You guys are all like, "Ugh, torture."
That is an activity, not a conversation. That is what we hate.
It should be both.
Yeah,
So
so
we explain the situation that we have booked passage to Carnlee.
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 And he says, "Book passage. This ain't no pleasure boat. Who did you book passage with?"
a certain friend of both of ours, I tell him his name under so that no one else can hear us. Well, the person that sent us.
Under your breath.
So he says, "Davick, you say? That son of a whore saved my life more than a few times. My name's Gervis Stormbringer. But let's not talk out in the open like this where any custard cup can hear us. Follow me, you lot of jizz whizzlers."
You got
Jizz
it.
whistlers.
I keep on. I just follow him.
Follow him into his
whistlers.
cabin.
Part of the
So,
culture, man.
so he leads you to the back of the boat where his cabin is, and he opens the door and walks inside, and as you guys follow him in, you'll look inside, and it's a room probably about, I want to say like 8 feet by like 6 feet. There's a bunk attached to the wall. There's a small desk in the middle of the room. There's lamps on these gimbals that allow them to swing back and forth. You see various charts and
Say the Jizz Whizzlers quarters, that's for sure.
yeah. Who's the last one in?
I guess Alunodas will take that.
Okay, so he sits down behind his desk and says, "Close the door, you darky gobbler. Now what's this all about? Why did Davick send you to me?" A donkey gargler.
Oh, okay. I was about to be like, "Damn, Kevin."
Yeah, we need passage out of town.
Passage out of town, why? We're not set to set sail here for another couple of days.
Yeah, we've done some things that the town isn't very appreciative of, so we kind of being hunted down.
Like what?
You know, this
Red
whole-
Talon business?
Yeah, you know this whole curfew thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was us.
Shit howdy, you did that? That's a
Yeah,
kick to
buddy.
Rathus's ass, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
You know it.
And so he laughs. And he gets up and grabs a bottle of wine and some cups and starts handing them out and pouring each of you wine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
He's laughing about the whole thing. He thinks it's
I'm drinking that up.
it's funny that you burned down the temple of Arathis and killed the mirror.
I like this guy. Cool dude.
So he says, "So Carnlee, you say? We'll have to take out some provisions as it's a fortnight trip if it ain't a fucking day. Get your milks off Coloca's below deck and I'll get this first base hammer crew on it. Should only be a few hours to get what we need. Pay off that dandy shocker dockmaster to let us sell. Never do a dockmaster that didn't love gold more than orders. Now get out of my face. I've got to do some work and I can't have you fucks in my way."
Grab some more wine before we go. It's really good.
Here, take mine. I'm not very thirsty anyway.
Alright. What's wrong with you?
So he says, talk to any deckhand and they'll show you a place where you can buck down below deck.
Ah, deckhand. I've talked to many of those.
Got it, boss. Thanks.
I'm gonna have my character mishear everything. Just like, yeah, ha.
Did you
I
have any
remember that.
questions for Stormbringer?
Yeah. Hey, quick question. Do you need anything from us before we set out?
No, we don't need anything from you unless you know how to work a boat.
I asked
It looks like you landlubbers probably wouldn't.
I am a landlubber indeed.
Landlubber.
Landlubber. I asked him why they call him Stormbringer.
Because I bring the storm. And then you see him like pull back his sleeve and then pull up like this python bicep. That's really not all that impressive to you, but it probably is for a dwarf.
I pretend to look impressed and then step out.
He says, yeah, be impressed. I'd be scared too. Look at these guns.
I'm gonna flex my arm and I'm gonna roll intimidation.
I'm a
We're having a flex off now. Hell yeah! Oh, let's get shredded.
Alexander kind of should be impressed.
I'm assuming you're probably leaving his cabin.
Yeah, I
I'm
snap.
going below decks.
As Oliver
Wow.
attempts to do this, I'm gonna snatch him by the collar and drag him out.
I continue
Sorry for
flexing
it.
as they drag me out.
Sorry for it. This guy brings.
Snag him by his ponytail and pull him along.
So,
Cold-blooded.
so as you're leaving out, one of the deckhands says, "What are you asses doing on the boat?"
What is your ass doing on the boat?
I work here.
I work here.
We're good friends. Shut up. Shut up.
Alunodas smacks him in the back of the head, and we just say, we're just going below decks. Don't we talk to Stormbringer.
Stormbringer said that one of you guys could bring us to our sleeping situation.
Oh,
or
is
where
that
we
so?
can put down our things. Yes, sir.
You got your gear?
Yeah, we got everything on us.
Okay. He says, follow me. My name's Richard.
Nice to meet you, Alexander.
Richard's a stupid name.
Well, that's funny because Richard turns around and just stares at you, and then another one of the deckhands punches Edel in the shoulder.
What?
And he says,
Oh.
"That's Richard. He's very sensitive about his name. I'd watch it if I were you."
I'm sorry about him, Richard. He's not the best conversationalist around here.
So Richard starts singing a note, and the sailor that punched Edel says, "Now you've done it. Now we've got to sing." Oh, what did that half-dwarf say? A pirate is a sensitive soul, and calling names is for assholes. You don't know me or what I do. Make fun of my name, then well, fuck you. That is such a lame asshole. My name is Richard, did you not hear? Not rich or dick or some stupid smear. You want to fight, I'll kick your ass. You half-dwarf clot, you've got no class. Don't be a fucking dick, now Richard. I've sailed the seas of all so well. You don't know me, so go to hell. I'm proud of my name, as you can see. It's the one Mom gave to me. I've dealt with bullies since I was a lad. They called me names and made me sad. I tried to ignore them and just walk away. Now I just murder, it's better that way. Oh, fuck your corpse's smell. You might take the threat as just a jest, test me and regret it like all the rest. They pleaded as they held their guts in their hands, they bled and prayed to the gods.
Fuck off with the singing. Always with the fucking singing. Get back to work, you western grip-jacking dumpster goblins.
You hear the captain scream from his cabin, and then you hear the door slam behind him. Then Richard says,
"The captain's so abrasive. I don't know why I took this job."
Then the deckhand who punched Edel says,
"Well, in this economy, there's not a lot of options."
Then Richard turns back around and looks at Edel and says,
"You'll just watch yourself. On next time, there'll be less singing and more stabbing."
Then he turns around and walks off, along with the other deckhand, and you're left to find the quarters yourself.
Pirate is the sensitive soul. All right.
After that song's over, I look over to him like, "Did you learn your lesson?"
No.
I smack him across the back of the head. I'm like, "Come on, let's go to our beds. Let's go."
All right.
I appreciate the song, fellas.
Let's go below decks. Let's
appreciate the song.
Okay, so you are going to go down below decks, and you're probably going to be taking a nap. And after a few hours, you could tell that the sun is probably about midday, and you feel the ship casting off out to the water.
Seems good to me.
So I'm going to move everybody over just so you could see where you are and where you're headed. So here's the world map. And you are starting out here in the southern port of Kala. And you are going to be moving to the capital city of the Plains Nation, which is Carnlee. Traveling down through these islands of Marish, Middlestock, sailing around the southern coast of Wereland and Sharhold, and then Carnlee. So Stormbringer's already told you that it's probably going to take about 2 weeks to get there.
Mm-hmm.
So during this time, we're going to say that somebody's probably looking through this book of the Saviors.
Yes. Trying to get info on where these saviors made their abodes.
Okay, so is only one person reading the book, or people taking turns, like looking through it?
Not steal a book away from Juliet. I'm all over that.
Want to bet on it?
All right, Shane and Juliet, give me investigation checks.
You got it. You want to know the worst thing? Like, one of the best and worst things about having Jack of all trades as a bard?
What's that?
If you gain proficiency in another skill, it's pretty much just a +1 instead of a +2. Because you already get the +1 from the Jack of all trades skill.
Huh.
Investigation. 10.
All right, so Juliet is looking through the book, and since she knows that you are sailing to Carnlee, she finds some interesting information on the Amulet of Dominion. And the lore behind the Amulet of Dominion it was created by the dwarven artificer Ural Ironstaff. He was known as one of the greatest dwarven wizards that ever lived, and was an archmage at the Arcane Academy, which is located on the Isle of Insight. So you know you're going to Carnlee, and you know that the Isle of Insight is in this inland sea just to the north and east of you. So it's said that the amulet, and you're reading more on it, you know he was an archmage at the Arcane Academy. And it's said that the amulet was willed to the school after he died, and it was hidden away somewhere in a very secure room where other dangerous and powerful magical artifacts were kept. And only the senior and most powerful archmages know its location and are allowed to study it.
Would you like that? Would you like to express that to us, Juliet?
Of course, I'm going to tell you guys.
So you know that little isle, like where Carnlee is, at the bottom right?
Yeah, I see it.
If you look at the top right, there's the Isle of Insight, right? That's where another of the artifacts are. It's an amulet. Yeah, and it's like a school of mages, and only one of the highest up people can study it or know about it.
Kevin, I have a question.
What's that?
Did you make this map from scratch?
I did.
Good job, man.
in this time frame, can we gonna assume that I use identify a lot to identify all these other things?
Yeah, but one more thing. Do you want to hear about what this amulet supposedly does?
Yeah, please.
Yeah.
The legend says the amulet has the power to control the minds of hundreds, if not thousands, if used by a powerful enough wizard.
I'm not one of those.
I'll look around. And
Do we even have a wizard?
I'm a wizard. I am a spellcaster.
Well, then, by that degree,
You
I
probably need very high level spell slots to be able to use that thing.
You would have to be able to use like Charm Person at 9th level.
Yeah, exactly. There we go.
It's pretty high out there.
Yep.
Not at all.
So,
Okay.
so after a few days, you're in this boat. You're going to identify the rest of these items.
Yeah, and I would like to also ask around, see if there's any wizards on the ship.
The deckhands start into another song about how they don't need no magic,
Don't go to sea.
that, you know, their hands are good enough for them. Then you hear the captain yell, "Fuck off with all the singing!" Yeah, there's no wizards on this boat. It's the deckhands and the captain.
Okay, got it.
I feel like they don't have all their teeth. Am I wrong?
The ship doesn't have the best dental plan.
Yeah, I'm sure that some of them have scurvy or something.
There's a lot of gingivitis around here.
All right, so you identify the rest of the items.
Yep, let's go. Start with the robes.
Okay, so these are expensive-looking green silk robes with gold gilding on the sleeves and collar. They give +1 to AC, +1 to initiative, and +1 to dex save.
Oh, AC,
I could use that.
initiative, and what was the third one?
Dex
Dex
save.
Dex save. The brooch.
The brooch is a bronze oval brooch with a ship's anchor in the middle. That's the symbol of Kayla. It gives +1 wisdom and +1 charisma while worn.
The necklace.
It's a silver chain with a moonstone pendant. It is a lucky charm. Once per day, add 1d6 to any roll.
Plus 1d6 to any roll.
Yes.
Got it. And the figurine.
It is an elven lady done in silver, about 8 inches tall on a white marble base. She's holding an obsidian sphere that's about 4 inches in diameter above her head. There's some writing on the base of the figurine and the top of the sphere. Give me a... Is there anyone here that speaks Elven?
I have comprehend language.
I might.
No.
I do.
Yeah, I hand it over to them to transcribe. Translate.
Okay. The base of the figurine says, "Simply ask, ask simply." On the top of the obsidian sphere is the elven symbol for infinity. Once per day, it will give you an answer to a simple question.
Okay, got it. And do I know of any limitations?
No. All you know is once per day, it will give you an answer to a simple question.
Seems good to me. I would like to put on this brooch.
Alunodas would be helped by the robes. He doesn't wear armor.
Yeah, I'll give Alunodas the robes. I tell everyone like what each artifact does. Well, each of these magical items. Alunodas, I'll give him the robes to give +1 AC, initiative, and dex save. And yeah, robes can just go over the armor already on. Cool. So I'll put on the brooch, which will give me +1 to wisdom and charisma, which is crazy good and in line with my stats. And then the necklace +1d6 to any roll.
Once per day, yes.
Yeah, once per day +1d6 to any roll. Anyone want that?
I'll
anyone
take it.
Like think they need it?
Yeah, I think with your rebuke, I think our meat shields might use that just because they can.
Yeah, I think Oliver has more crazy abilities as a paladin. I'll toss it to him. I hand it over to Oliver and tell Juliet that if she thinks she needs it, you're more than welcome to get it from him. Or try.
I think it'll be more useful on him.
By any roll, that is attack, saves, and skill checks. That wouldn't be like a damage roll.
Would he have to use it before you tell him if it hits or not?
Yeah, it works like basically cutting words. So you have to use it before I tell you what the result of whatever roll that you have is.
How does it work?
Just before he gives you the answer to the roll, be like, hey, I want to use my necklace's ability. And once per day, you can get 1 plus 1d6 to any roll. So, like, say you know that his AC is like 15 just by someone hitting with the 15 and not with the 14, right? Yeah. And you roll a 14, be like, hey, before you announce that I miss, I want to use my necklace ability. And then you roll a 1d6 to it.
Then you roll.
Or if we're in like a life and death situation and rolling low means that you die, you can roll to boost your stat.
That's pretty
Your
dope.
check. Yeah, it's pretty good.
Or if someone casts a spell and like the DC's 13 and you roll a 12 and you're like, well, I don't want to be charmed, so you use that lucky charm to add that to your saving throw.
What's the name of the item?
It's called the lucky charm.
The lucky charm. And if anybody has like any question, like a simple
The
question
lucky
throughout
charm?
the day. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, and if anyone has a question throughout the day, they're more than welcome to. I feel like at least 3 people should give the okay on a question before someone just wastes the once per day ability.
Well, seeing as how I'm the most trustworthy one here and the one who has all the questions, I think I should have it.
Go for it. I toss it over.
What?
Well, I hand it over. I don't toss it. Don't make me drop it, please.
I think it would be very helpful to our quest. Are we headed in the right direction? Is the whatchamacallit at this place?
I mean, but yeah, we would have to be very specific.
Yeah. I'm thinking it's not simple. Yes, no. Ask again later.
Yeah, well, I mean, you wouldn't be able to say, are we on the right track? That question's too vague.
Yeah, it's too open-ended.
But
Yeah, like,
is the amulet at the Isle of Insight?
What about if are we going the wrong way?
I mean, there's a ton of amulets. Yeah, we'd have to be very specific, but as long as it's simple, we can do it. I'm not trying to get genied out of this.
I am.
Like, is the amulet in this place? And just be like, yes, and then you just figure out that it's just an amulet. Like, no special ability, it's just an amulet.
Yep, that could very well happen.
It could, and I feel like a certain someone would let it happen because it's
Just
hilarious.
go bop a booey, and it like does the thing, does nothing.
So, guys,
That's
we're
the magic word.
we're at an hour and 20 minutes, so I think this is probably a good place to stop with you guys on the boat, and you've just figured out what these magical items are, and I think that's probably a good place to stop. Thanks for joining us for this episode of the Dungeons and Debacles podcast. A lot of people say this, but we really do want to hear from you. Are we shinier than a platinum piece, or stankier than a kobold's loincloth? Let us know what you liked and didn't like. Everything helps this make a better podcast for you. Got an idea for monsters, items, and commercials? Let us know about it. You might hear it in the show. Find us on Facebook and Twitter at Dungeons and Debacles Podcast. We also have a website where you can learn more about the characters, lore, and maps of this world. You'll also find articles about Dungeons and Dragons and a whole lot more. Just search Dungeons and Debacles Podcast. Do you think the government of Luscane is spying on you and you don't have a social media account? Then email us at dungeondebacle@gmail.com. You can also check out the theme song and all the commercials you heard on the podcast on our YouTube account. Just search Dungeons and Debacles Podcast. New episodes come out every Sunday, so check your podcast app. And now a word from this week's sponsor.
Matt Cedric's got the deals.
I'm Matt Cedric of Matt Cedric's Discount Goods and Adventurers Emporium. Is your cleric a creep? Is your druid a drag? Try our healing potions. They put pep in your step and get you back in the fight. A healing potion will never try to convert you to a god or get into a moral debate with you. Just drink it and feel better about the decisions that led you to your current situation. Try our new flavors exclusive to Matt Cedric's Discount Goods and Adventurers Emporium. Berry Blitz, Melon Melee, and Arctic Chill.
Side effects may include delusions of grandeur, increased risk of infection, drowsiness, impotence, headache, and bloody stool. Ask your cleric if healing potions are right for you.
My prices are so low, I'm practically giving this stuff away. How do I do it? Don't worry about it. Come on in to Matt Cedric's Discount Goods and Adventurers Emporium. We have convenient locations in a city near you. Just talk to the town guard for directions. Matt Cedric's Discount Goods and Adventurers Emporium, where the only thing madder than me is the savings.
Matt Cedric's got deals.
The music you heard on this episode was Richard's Tolerance Shanty by me, Kevin the Dungeon Master. You also heard Teller of the Tales by Kevin MacLeod at Incompetech.com, licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. You can find that license at creativecommons.org/licenses/by/3.0.